Today, we're going to explore the art of creativity on the guitar and the profound act of self-expression that it offers. I'm going to give you 5 tips to help unlock your creativity and help take your playing to the next level. Hello everybody, welcome. Guitar Guru Jeff here, where I teach you the lessons I wish I would have had at your playing level and to help you learn the guitar funner and faster. Let's get going. Tip number 1, listen widely. Now, to truly expand your musical horizons, I recommend that you delve into genres that you might not otherwise typically explore. Dive into jazz, dive into classical, blues, folk, and even electronic music, among others. Now, each genre offers unique rhythms and melodies and techniques that can inspire and enrich your playing beyond what you might have thought. By listening widely, you expose yourself to different approaches to instrumentation, composition, and expression, which can help you develop a more diverse and eclectic style. Let me give you a great example. So when I first started playing guitar, I was very heavily into rock, Van Halen. I was very into folk music. I loved the Beatles. But there came a point where I wanted to know more about what was going on in the music around me. I always looked as classical music as being the tree and the branches being the other styles that resulted. And so because of that, I had an intense desire to want to listen to classical guitar. So I started listening a lot to it, and then that led me into studying it, and that helped me develop things that in my playing, like techniques that I would have not have otherwise explored. So I recommend you listen widely to help expand your playing. Tip number 2, master that fretboard. I like for students to apply what I call the trifecta principle. And with this idea, I emphasize that it's important to be versatile, to be fluent on the guitar. So knowing how to play the same note or chord in multiple positions on the fretboard will enhance your playing and flexibility and improvisational skills beyond what you had thought. So, for example, there is more than one place to play the same note on the guitar. I could play an E open here. I could play an E here at the 5th fret of the 2nd string. I could play an E over here on the 3rd string, 9th fret. I could play an E right here on the 4th string, 14th fret. And the same applies with scales and also chords. So if I were to take a C scale, I could play it here. I could play it here at the 8th position. I could continue in the 8th position. I could play right here in the 10th position. I could play it up here in the 15th. Same holds true with chords. I could take a C chord and play it right down here in the open position. I could play it in the 8th position. I could play it in the 10th position. I could play it in the 15th position. So, knowing how to play the same note and even the same scale and also the same chord in multiple positions will put you in a great place when it comes to improvising, because it frees you and gives you the flexibility to play all over the neck of the guitar. Tip number 3, embrace improvisation. Now, improvisation is about spontaneity, expression, and creativity. And the word improvise really refers to the act of creating and performing something spontaneously without prior preparation or planning. To me, this can take a few forms. You can just pick up the guitar and start noodling around. Just take a series of notes. And you can move them up and down the neck. Experiment with just making something up without thinking even about what you're really doing, right? Just playing random notes, moving chords around. Moving up and down the neck, just kind of freeing yourself of any sort of boundary and just exploring. Now, on the other hand, improv can take a more strict sense, and this is typically how it manifests in the songs and the music you listen to. Improv, typically, within a musical form, is going to always have a certain set of limitations. So, for example, if we were to look at the style of blues, and we were to take a blues scale, improv, within the context of blues, says that you have to stick to a certain set of notes and try to stick to a certain sense of phrasing or musical synthesis. So, for example, I could take those 5 notes and make up something only using those 5 notes and trying to come up with a musical phrase like right? So I took those notes and created a musical phrase or a question and an answer. Now, if you'd like to learn more about improv, I do have an excellent video called Mastering Minor Pentatonic Scales. I recommend you look up that video and watch it. You can learn a lot about improv from that video. Tip number 4, don't be afraid to write your own music. Now, composing your own music is a deeply personal and rewarding endeavor. Start by experimenting with chord progressions, melodies, and song structures. You know, many students tend to overthink this and they think of writing music as this really massive, huge undertaking when in reality it just means making up something. Now, as I said earlier, within a set of boundaries, it's really good to follow and listen to other people's music to understand the structure of how songs are typically written. Now, I did have a great teacher tell me one time, there are no rules in music, there's only observations, but however, you have to be really careful to make sure you don't step over the boundaries of what some styles have created. So basically, when you write your own music, you're going to listen to other people's music, maybe understand how they did it, and emulate it. So there is a saying that imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery, but don't forget one thing. Everything that's ever been created has never been created in a vacuum, right? The very shoes that we wear, the very clothes that we wear, they've been modeled after other products similar to that. So there are certain expectations. So what I recommend that you do is to listen to some of the music that you really like, maybe take out a pen and a paper and jot down, or maybe when you're learning the song, really be cognizant of exactly how the song is structured. And when you go to write your own music, try to compose your music similar to how they did. And our final tip, tip number 5, record and review your playing often. Now, recording yourself is a powerful tool for self-improvement and creativity. It can be a little exposing at times, but regular recording of your playing allows you to track your progress, allows you to identify areas of improvement, and to capture moments of inspiration. Sometimes I'll just I'll press record on my phone, on the Memos app, and just start making up stuff. And I listen back to it and I hear some things like, wow, that's a really great idea. Maybe I would have otherwise just have ignored it, right? But one good thing to do when you are doing this, I feel it's a great idea, when you've made up something and you really like it, record it, set it aside, and listen to it a week later. You'd be surprised because in the middle of our writing, whenever we're sitting down with a guitar and we're making stuff up, we tend to be very judgmental. Listening back like a week later, at least for me, gives me a different perspective because I hear it with a fresh set of ears. So in conclusion, with these 5 tips as your guide, you can embark on a journey of musical discovery and self-expression. It's really important to remember the guitar is not just an instrument, it's a gateway to endless possibilities. Keep playing, keep exploring, and let your creativity soar. Now, if you found value in this video today, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget, you can go to my website, link in the description, sign up for my monthly newsletter where I often talk about other things that I'm working on in music and give you tips and tricks. Great newsletter, check it out. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Have a great day.